Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, we're entering the world of creativity, and we're going to be answering the question, is Kanye West crazy? See, Kanye West is viewed as one of the creative geniuses of our era. And my history with Kanye West started when I was in the 8th grade. When I was in the 8th grade, I was desperately trying to be liked by other people. And I thought that one way to be liked by other people was to share their interests. And I noticed a lot of them would talk about hip hop. So I would go back home. I'd watch a lot of the BET shows, MTV shows, and I'd hear this guy that was rapping this one song called All Falls Down, and his name was spelled Kanye. So I go back to school. I'm like, guys, man, there's this new guy called Kanye West. You guys got to check out Kanye West. You haven't heard of Kanye West? Here, I'll introduce you to Kanye West. Then one day, there was this guy named Rodney or Rodkey, whatever. He was like, Armani, you got it all wrong. His name is Kanye West. When I heard his name was Kanye West, something about that name just seemed special. And as a few more years went on by, Kanye West started to have this war with 50 Cent. People in 2005 will understand what I'm talking about. And throughout the years, I've seen Kanye West develop. I've seen him go from a mega producer to a mega rapper to a mega fashion designer. And each chapter, I would say he's showing brilliance, but at the same time, showing a lot of, is this guy really brilliant or is he a little crazy? So that's one of the first things that I would like to nip in the bud. In order to consider someone a genius, what does that really mean? It means as someone that is beyond ordinary. And whenever we're talking about something beyond ordinary, we're talking about something that is somewhat weird. Now, if we're saying, is he weird or is he crazy? Then that's, for most people, they're going to be like, it's the same thing. So I would say a lot of geniuses are somewhat crazy if we're peeling back the layers of what the words mean. Now, with that being said, I want to also talk about why a lot of creative people are somewhat sporadic. And you'll also notice that a lot of creative people have anger issues. Roughly around that time when Kanye West was blowing up, another guy that was blowing up was this guy named Bill O'Reilly. I didn't like Bill O'Reilly. I used to watch a lot of these debates of conservatives and liberals just going back and forth with each other. And Bill O'Reilly was one of these guys that would always get the best of others. And even if he couldn't get the best of others, he'd be like, well, it's my show, so you listen to what I'm saying. And he had this very pompous face. I couldn't stand Bill O'Reilly. This was 2005, 2006, when he was in his heyday. And there was this one day when there's this viral clip that comes out. And this is a viral clip of a young Bill O'Reilly. He has hair. So that's how you can tell this is from a long, long time ago. And within this clip, he's over here trying to read off lines from a teleprompter. But each time that he's trying to read off the lines, apparently the lines disappear. So the first time, he's like, there's no lines. So he redoes the set. Once again, he's trying to read the lines, and something happens with the teleprompter. And this time, he gets a little bit angrier. He restarts the set. Then he tries to read the lines again. And once again, it messes up. And that's when Bill O'Reilly snaps. He's like, forget it. We'll do it live. And by the way, he didn't really say forget it. It was much more rated R than that. And he was yelling. I mean, he was pissed. And this small moment became viral when he was this meteoric success in 2005 to 2006. And this is when a lot of his critics were like, man, look at the kind of guy that Bill O'Reilly is, yelling at these poor people. I mean, Bill O'Reilly has anger issues. And being a young guy, where I'm like, man, yeah, screw Bill O'Reilly. When I saw this clip, I was like, yes, I knew that he was a bad guy. So recently, I was thinking about that moment. And I was thinking about that moment after something very embarrassing happened to me. I'm over here trying to record a podcast, which you should check out, ArmaniTalks podcast. And I'm basically in the last 30 seconds of the episode recording. And each time I'm about to hit the last 30 seconds, I'm about to wrap it up, and I'm about to upload the podcast, within the 17-second mark, there's a dude outside that keeps turning on the lawnmower. And it's like, vroom, in the final sections. And I'm like, dang it, I gotta start back over. So I start back over. And once again, I'm in the final portions of the podcast. And once again, this guy's like, vroom. So second time, bud, you just ruined my podcast episode. And I'm like, why? What are you exactly doing? Why are you just doing vroom? It's like you're setting yourself up to annoy me right now. Third time I began recording the episode. Once again, in the final portions, this guy messes up my take. And this is when I'm getting angrier. But I'm not fully angry at this point. So I go back to recording the episode, and once again, this guy is up with his shenanigans, and that's when I just snap. I couldn't believe that this guy keeps ruining my take. Doesn't he understand that I'm inspired right now? And when a creative person is inspired, they just want to get the contents from their internal world to the external world as fast as possible. And when there's someone from the external world that is disrupting their rhythm, it infuriates them. And when I got angry like that, that's when I suddenly began empathizing with my good old friend, Bill O'Reilly. It began to make sense why he was getting annoyed like that. Now, you can make the argument where you're like, yeah, but I mean, you recording a podcast, that's a creative act. But Bill O'Reilly reading a bunch of lines from a teleprompter, that's not a creative act. I would argue that it is. Turning dead words into words filled with life to a mass audience is a form of creativity. And when it's consistently being disrupted, that is when the creative person lashes out. So at this stage in Kanye's career, I mean, there's a lot of strangeness that's happening. And I'm not over here condoning it. I'm not over here reprimanding him either. All I want to understand is the mindset of how creativity works. That's one of the core soft skills of the ArmaniTalks brand. And each time that I've observed creative people, I've noticed time and time again that they had some form of anger issues. I believe history depicts a lot of creative people as dark, like the Vincent van Goghs who would chop their ears off. But what they don't talk about enough is the angry side to them. And my hypothesis towards this angry side is because they are inspired, and inspiration can come and go. A few people are capable of systematizing creativity, systematizing that form of inspiration. But let's say it does come and go, and you don't know when you're going to get that back. So you just want to use the will to get it out there, whatever it is, whether you're delivering lines or whether you're delivering a podcast episode. The creative person sees the full picture. So whenever there's disruptions happening from the external world that's disturbing the creative person from bringing the full picture from the internal world to the external world, that is when they lash out. So before calling someone crazy, genius, and all that stuff so quick, understand that these words are all labels. What's even more important is to be able to logically explain the labels, and that only in itself shows true understanding. So if you enjoyed today's talk and you want to learn more about creativity, be sure to drop that like for me right on below. If you like my video, then my video gets recommended more to you. Throughout my channel, I have plenty of talks on creativity, content creation, emotional intelligence, and much more. So stay subscribed to the channel, hit that bell notification, stay updated with the latest videos. Thank you very much for joining the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.